Today on Playing a Blinder.
If you really look close at this, and I have, it's 100% biological. Because I'm going to show you some more shots of the Sphinx. It's quite apparent that it had been an actual living creature at one time.
You serious?
Go nuts on my nuts.
Hi, it's me, Creaky. Now, the Great Sphinx of Giza is a giant 4,500-year-old limestone statue situated near the Great Pyramids of Giza in Egypt. It measures 240 feet long and 66 feet high, and it's one of the world's largest monuments. It's also one of the most recognizable relics of ancient Egypt, and although the origins and history of the colossal structure are still debated, our pal Roger from Mud Fossil University, he doesn't worry about debating things, because he knows with 100% certainty that the Sphinx used to be alive. No, really. Look, I'll show you. Tidy!
Hello, my wonderful, wonderful friends. This is Roger Spur at Mud Fossil University, and we are going to be talking about the Sphinx today. And who doesn't love the Sphinx?
The person that was standing underneath it when his nose fell off? I know, it didn't fall off. There are a couple of different stories about what happened to the nose. Google it. I'm not telling you. What do you think this is? Some sort of educational channel?
Now, this is an extremely early picture. What I want you to focus in on is underneath the ear. You see this? You see that really dark strip there and how dark it is under there? Like something looks like almost like it's leaking. And you see these little stripes here. Can you see that? Is that apparent? I hope you can see those little swirls and swishes and so forth coming down. So remember this, and remember those little, you know, that patterning there. Okay, so don't forget. Now there's our Sphinx. Now let's take a look at this. Whoops, not that. We wanted.
Uh-oh, I can see where this is heading. Come on, Roger. The marks are just evidence of erosion. The Sphinx was carved from natural limestone from the Giza Plateau, known as the Mokattam Formation, and it's known to erode very quickly. And if you also take into account the fact that for years the statue was covered with sand up to its shoulders, as shown in this photograph, taken by Maxime Ducamp in 1849, then evidence of erosion is obviously going to be there.
Now, what are we looking at?
Not the Sphinx, that's for sure. Looks like a diagram of a human head to me. And what the hell has human anatomy got to do with a statue carved from limestone?
Something leaking down the side next to the ear where blood is the most tenacious stuff on the face of the earth. The blood lasts forever.
It lasts as long as you're alive, but no one lives forever. And as blood starts to decompose 8 to 10 days after death, maybe it isn't as tenacious as you seem to think, Roger. So no, blood most definitely doesn't last forever.
Everybody thinks the blood is what goes away. It doesn't. Now, this is the patterning we saw under the neck. It's the muscles of the neck. Now, I have other shots here. Let's just run through this real quick. There's another shot of the side of the head and where underneath where the ear would be, and the things running out, because I'm going to show you some more shots of the Sphinx. It's quite apparent that it had been an actual living creature at one time.
Apparent to you maybe, but not a sane person. All this is a perfect example of why Roger from Mud Fossil University is the undisputed king of pareidolia. If there was even the slightest possibility of this actually being true, and there isn't, but if there was, why is it that you were the only person on the face of the earth, along with the idiots who follow you, all 107,000 of them, think it is?
Alright, now hopefully you can see the weave of the muscle. I mean, that's what it is. It's the only reason it's weaved around a guy's neck, or the Sphinx's neck. Now, you see, this is the kind of patterning you see around the neck. And this just shows you some more of the blood vessels that are running down the side of the head.
So, lines on your diagram of a human head mean that the lines on a limestone statue mean that the Sphinx was a living creature. I have never heard anything so stupid in my life. No, wait, that can't be right. I've made videos about Roger before, haven't I?
Alright, so far we've seen the blood running out from underneath the ear, and that's going to be on the other side as well. And of course the patterning of the muscles and these splits and so forth, which appear, in my estimation, it's due to the fact that there is a fluffy pad there, which would more likely separate and sort of settle, creating that fissures. It's not like they put blocks and you're blocking a block. If you really look close at this, and I have, it's 100% biological.
Well then, who am I to say you're wrong? If you say it's 100% biological, then it must be. After all, you are the world's foremost expert in the field of seeing things that aren't there. I have to rely on stupid things like proof.
Alright, here's another pretty good shot showing the veins, arteries, or whatever it is coming down this side, and I think it's a vein. Now, this here, if you can look really close, you see these little dots? See a dot, 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 dot. That's areolar tissue. I don't know if you can see that close enough with it.
Areolar tissue? So the Sphinx is a nipple neck, eh? Tidy. But as far as the veins go, I'm not really seeing it. All I can see is the side view of a statue. Perhaps I'm just not up to it. I'm one of those really stupid people that can only see things if they're actually there. And while we're looking at your dots, I found some as well. And as luck would have it, it's on limestone. The stuff that was used to carve out and build the Sphinx. Look, I've even got my own dots as well, Roger. What a coinky-dink.
See those little dots down there? That's what all areolar tissue is. And that's exactly what you would have there, is areolar tissue. If this was looked at carefully, I mean, there's no question it can be validated one way or the other. I might be totally insane, but I don't think so.
Might be. Roger, you do not give yourself enough credit, apart from when you do, like when you say you're 100% certain about really stupid things, like the Sphinx being a real creature.
The eyeballs, if they looked at very carefully, you'll be able to see. You can see, I can see things that most people won't see because I understand the process of what's called nucleophilic substitution.
Okay, nucleophilic substitution. Nucleophiles typically have a lone pair of electrons in them. As the name suggests, duh, they are attracted to the nucleus of an atom. Nucleophilic substitution is a substitution reaction in which an electron-rich nucleophile displaces the halogen atom bonded to the central carbon of an alkyl halide molecule. The halide ion that is displaced from the carbon atom is called the leaving group. Nucleophilic substitution reaction takes place at the site of a saturated carbon atom of aromatic, aliphatic and acyl compounds. I thought everyone knew that. Does it have anything to do with what Roger's talking about though? I have absolutely no idea. But how smart did I just sound?
And that is where something has been invaded by the transition molecules that stabilize biology. And I understand it, so it's a little hard to convey that real in a couple sentences, but...
Well, I just convey the ass off it because of my big giant science brain. What?
Basically what it is all your stuff in your body is always continuously giving and taking other molecules in so that you can live. Otherwise, they just lie in there dead. So that's what a life is giving and taking of molecules and atoms and elements. And that's what the periodic chart is. And when you die, nothing here is stable. Nothing here is stable by itself. It has to pair up with somebody. Or I mean, these are the... There's a lot to go through. Anyway, just trust me, I never lie and I'm always right.
Well, who'd have thought we had so much in common, Roger? But saying that you never lie and you're always right when you're actually never right kind of invalidates your statement. Because what you say in your videos is either a series of misunderstandings about what is or isn't real, or you do actually lie in your videos all the time, which is what I think. So in that case, I'd have to say you do lie and you're always wrong. Sorry, Rog.
I believe that's blood right there. I'm not certain, but that's exactly where it would collect. and this would protect it from being washed away. I don't know, but I'm telling you, if you get right on site and see this stuff right up close, there's the interstitium again. There's the blood vessel or vein, whatever it is, and this is the areolar tissue, which is the same as the interstitium, and it's sort of that fluffy, sort of movable flesh.
And who doesn't love fluffy, movable flesh, especially if there's areola involved? Come on, Roger, do you even hear yourself? And saying vein or artery or whatever isn't very scientific. It has to be one or the other, or neither. Whatever isn't a word used in a scientific presentation that tends to sell the nonsense you talk about. And that's coming from the guy that just squeezed an invisible pair of boobies. So you know it's a valid point.
All right, 10 years I've been studying the chemistry of the transition of mud fossils, and I'm telling you right now, this is the guy's eyeball. That's a tissue that is different from the other tissues. This is the nose cavity, the nasal cavity. These splits and seams are literally fractures of molecules bonding in.
Now, I could be mistaken here, but does Roger just seem to use a lot of big words that have absolutely nothing to do with anything he's talking about, just so he can sound smart and prevent his viewers from seeing that he's nothing more than an idiot? I'd never do that. Just like I'd never go and work down a coal mine in case I ended up suffering from a fatal lung disease like pneumono-ultramicroscopic silicone volcanoconiosis.
Geometrical patterns that sort of create fissures and splits, but a lot of it is due to the pattern of the muscles as well. You know, your cheeks lift up when you smile.
No, they don't, Roger. You liar.
And there's a lot of extra interstitium in there, which is the fluffy stuff that they call it areolar tissue.
Fluffy stuff? Another scientific term that I just don't understand?
This is Robert Schock, and he has been talking about the Sphinx, and I was talking to somebody who apparently is a friend of his or knows him or whatever. And I brought it up, and I said, I don't think he's right about what, the things. And and the guy was very, very nice. It didn't come to a real argument or anything. I just said I have a totally different interpretation of things, and I have some evidence to support. And I'd like to engage with Dr. Schock, and I hope that will happen.
Robert M. Schock is an American Associate Professor of Natural Sciences at the College of General Studies in Boston University, and he co-authored and explained the fringe Sphinx water erosion hypothesis. So I can see why you'd claim he was wrong, Roger, and I'm sure that if you ever do have the opportunity to talk with the doctor, he'd be shocked by what you have to say. And talking about having things to say, leave me a comment down in the comment section. What do you think about Roger's nonsense? And if you include #BlinderGang, like that, then I'll pick somebody at random, and you may be in with a chance of winning an item of Creaky.shop merchandise. Oh my god, absolutely fabulous. I'm the Creaky Blinder, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.